Okay, hello everyone. How you guys doing today? Okay. Okay, hello everyone. How are you guys doing? I have that 420 outfit here. Let me help Brandon here first. Hey everyone, how you guys doing? I know I started kind of late today, but I had a lot of stuff to do earlier. We're gonna do another midweek stream. By the way, we'll do one on Wednesday. But my midweek stream on Wednesday will be Crime Boss. And then the week after that, we'll go back to Yakuza Kiwami 2. Or we might do Yakuza Kiwami 2 also on Thursday. So we might do 2 streams, Wednesday and Thursday. But, yeah, it's because, a Crime Boss is having, like, an event to steal, like, $1 billion. And we want to, like, help out in that event. I'm good, GTA Gar. How are you? Okay, Pierston. Yeah, well, GTA 6 is really, 7 months away now at this point. You know, time will fly by, and soon it'll be half a year. Might give it a chance, Extreme. Wait, is the map like this because of 420? Yes. Okay. That's okay, Sebi, that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay. Oh, what about 420? What does it mean? It's literally just a holiday for marijuana. That's all it is, really. Uh, it's not, there's no, like, government holiday or anything, it's just something people celebrate. Can I wear my 50 Cent cosplay in real life? Did I do a good job on the 50 Cent cosplay? Yes, yes, oh, thank you. It's going good. I'm gonna have another part of 50 Cent tomorrow. How did 420 become associated with marijuana? I have no idea. That I don't know. Maybe somebody can say in the chat, but I don't know. You looked hella gangster. Well, thank you. What did you guys think of the story in that game? That he, like, he literally goes to the Middle East and does a concert, and then he doesn't get paid, and he gets pissed off, and he goes on this crazy rampage, just destroying the whole country. This is the 420 event. It's just always like this. Do I like the Uncharted series? I never really played it. You know, I will say this: if they make like a sequel to 50 Cent Blood in the Sand, you know what they should do? They should make like the next game where 50 Cent does like a concert in North Korea and he doesn't get paid, or make it where he goes to like Afghanistan or something like that. So like, make the next one 50 Cent, you know, goes to North Korea. That Von Schrader boss fight was so bad it will get heavy backlash nowadays. Yeah, I will say that the Von Schrader boss fight in Medal of Honor European Assault is the worst boss battle in the entire series. I think the best boss battle in the entire series is probably the boss battle of Sturmgeist in Medal of Honor Frontline, like right before you get into the plane. I think that's probably the best boss battle, but the Von Schrader boss battle just sucks. And the reason it sucks so badly is because the game doesn't tell you that you need the rocket launcher to kill him. Like, if you don't have the rocket launcher, you can't kill him. And so you can basically go through the whole mission without picking up the rocket launcher, and then when you get to the boss battle, there's no way to kill him, and you keep dying. So literally, that is that boss battle is terrible because infinite amounts of SS soldiers just constantly spawn and attack you, and it's just never ending. So like, you'll keep killing them, and they'll keep spawning, and the only way to get them to stop spawning is to blow Von Schrader up. So it's really such an annoying boss battle. Like, European Assault was a pretty good game for the most part, it was, but that final boss battle was terribly designed. It was really bad. Like, a lot of people in the Medal of Honor community really hate that boss battle. Hey Pro, how are you? Hope your day's going good. It's going good, Justin, how are you? Thank you for sponsoring my channel for 2.5 years. Thanks, dude. And the time limit. Oh yeah, the time limit. I forgot about the time. There's a time limit too. It's such a bad boss. What story do you like more, Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 4? Probably GTA 4, just for nostalgia. I enjoyed your first part, 50 Cent, Blood in the Sand. There's a crime show called Power and 50 Cents. If you like it, if you like the game, you like the show. What's that one about specifically? Thanks for sponsoring my channel for 2 years, Golden Stripes. That's just the way I describe things, Shiny Knight. Your concept on GTA 6 Online is so good. Thank you, Jon Snow. Thanks, dude. Would you say renting a PS5 Pro is a good idea? They are somewhat saying you will be happy owning nothing. No, it's stupid. Buy it. Don't rent it. It's like that weird thing where you know there's people that rent furniture. You know, people actually do that. Like, they rent couches and stuff like that. That's so weird. It's like, why would you rent a couch when you could just buy it? That's such a weird thing. But no, you don't want to rent it. You want to buy it. And really, here's the thing is, really, renting anything, really, renting like 99% of stuff is bad. Like, renting most stuff is bad. The only time that I would see renting is okay is if you are renting some kind of property. So if you're renting like a house or an apartment and you live there, then yeah, that's justifiable because you need a place to live. But you don't want to rent anything else. You don't want to rent products like a PlayStation. You don't want to rent furniture. You don't want to rent a car, too. Don't do that either. The only time I would say it would be acceptable to rent a car is if you're traveling. If you're traveling and you got no vehicle, then okay, yeah, you buy a rental service. But never lease a car. Don't lease a car. Don't do that. You always want to either buy it, yeah, pretty much either buy it. That's really the only option that you got at that point. And you don't have to get something really expensive. You can get like a used car. So that's that. Is that, never renting a house is bad? Not necessarily. Sometimes renting is better than owning because you can save a bit of money over time. Well, you can probably play with me when we play, when GTA 6 comes out, there'll probably be crossplay. And I will say this, if GTA 6 doesn't have crossplay, it's gonna look like a joke, it is. It's gonna be like, it's like the biggest game of the year, and it's not gonna have crossplay, that game is gonna look really stupid if that happens. Like, it will. Yeah, leasing a car is a terrible idea. I agree with you 100% on that. You should never lease a car. But, like, people are always, oh, I want the new car, I'm getting a good deal. No, you don't need a fancy new car with all the screens and everything like that. You can buy, like, a used car that's, like, 10 years old, and it'll still work. Just make sure you get an inspection done on it, but it'll be fine. There's plenty of cars that you can buy from 10 years ago that are just fine vehicles. My car is from 2013. I still drive it 13 years later. So, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, owning, like, a car that's, like, a decade old. Thank you, Jolly, for sponsoring my channel. Thank you, dude. Ah, crap. This weather is getting to me here. I have a question. Wait, let me see here. If you're arrested and sentenced for something you said online, does this count as political repression? Kind of, yeah. It really depends. It really depends on what you said. But like, if for example, somebody posted something threatening somebody, like if somebody like posted like a comment threatening to kill a politician or something like that, you can't really do that because that's threatening to kill somebody. But if you like, you know, criticize something, if you like criticize like the government, you criticize immigration or something like that, and you get arrested for that, then yeah, that you could make the argument that that's pretty much political repression. I mean, that happens in your country. You live in Russia. So I know that, you know, you will get arrested for, like, you know, posts in Russia, but surprisingly, the same thing happens also in a lot of Western European countries, like Germany and Britain. They will also arrest people for, it won't be necessarily directly criticizing the government, but it'll be, like, a lot of other things that they'll arrest people for in, Britain and Germany, but it's all stupid regardless, it is. You know, just sending the police to somebody's house for something they posted online, it's honestly one of the stupidest things ever. It's like the government is a child. That's pretty much what it is at that point. If the government cannot handle something that people post online, that government deserves to fail. What about financing? I financed my 2025 Toyota. Well, you're gonna own it at the end, right? It's not like a lease, right? You're gonna at least own it. As long as like you own it, but I would say it's never like lease something. Like if you're gonna own the car at the end of the day, then I guess it's somewhat more justifiable. But that's that. Thank you, Nikki. Some people said that GTA 4's Liberty City felt like a mixture of New York City in the 70s, 80s, and 2000s. I think that's why it's so nostalgic with its setting. In a way, maybe. But I felt like I was actually in New York at certain parts. Like, for example, they did a really good job of capturing Coney Island. Coney Island, they did a really good job with that one, or Firefly Island in the game. They did a really good job with that. Did somebody not get a boat? I'm confused right now. I guess they're coming back with the boats right now, okay. Who do you think is the biggest scumbag in all of Ace Combat? In the entire Ace Combat series, the worst character, the most evil character? Well, the developer of Ace Combat even actually said who the most evil character in the series is. The developer of Ace Combat said the most evil character is, what's his name? Torres. Torres in Ace Combat 7's DLC. He said that Torres is the most evil character in the entire series. But you could also make the argument that Valdemar Ride is extremely evil. Now, for people that don't know who Valdemar Ride is the leader of Belka, and it's never explained exactly who he is. They call him Prime Minister in the game, Prime Minister of Belka, but it's highly suggested that he's a dictator. Valdemar Ride started the Belkan War. Valdemar Ride was also responsible for dropping the nukes, you know, on the Valdric Mountains. He was also responsible for the coup that happened in Belka in the late 1995, and he was also responsible for funding the World with No Boundaries. He was actually he funded that group. So even though that group wanted to abolish governments, he ironically funded that group just so that they would cause chaos. Valdemar Ride is pretty evil too. The generals are pretty evil in Ace Combat 6. They're never named, but the generals were the guys who controlled Estevakia. There's also the dictator of Lisaf in Ace Combat X, but I forget what his name is. Somebody in the comments might know. He was a pretty messed up guy. The supreme leader of Erusea, he was also a pretty messed up person. In Ace Combat 4, he was the dictator of Erusea. He was a pretty messed up person. He's never named, he's just called supreme leader. I I'm trying to think, is there any other really evil characters? There's the Gray Men, but the Gray Men are like an organization in Ace Combat 5. So there's a few evil, despicable characters in the Ace Combat series. Yeah, I know it's the Savior Adrenaline. I know there's that also, Manuf. But it was just such a disgusting boss battle. But you can also buy the car after your lease ends. Yes, you can, but you've already spent way much more than what the car is worth. So like a lease is a scam because you're essentially what you're doing is you're renting the car, and then at the end of it you can have the option of buying the car, which is no. If you're gonna get the car, then either finance it or buy it straight up. Professionals up in the club with a new video. Love the cosplay. Thank you, somebody32. Thanks, man, for the super chat. What's my favorite Ace Attorney game? Oh, that's a difficult one to answer. That's really difficult to answer. I will say maybe my favorite Ace Attorney game is the very first great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And the reason I like Chronicles the most is because Chronicles has the jury system in it. So I really like the jury system that they had in Chronicles, like how the trials went with the jury system. So it might be Chronicles. That was my favorite one. What's my main complaint about Battlefield 6? Oh, that's easy. That the helicopters are a joke in Battlefield 6. They really are. The helicopters in the game can only take one missile, and they're gone. Like an attack helicopter, a transport helicopter, just one missile. And the reason that that's so stupid is because, like, every single person and their mother literally is carrying an anti-air weapon in Battlefield 6. Like, in Battlefield 6, you're not even going to last in the helicopter for a minute, because everybody has an anti-air launcher. Like, has anybody here played Battlefield 6? You know what I'm talking about. When you get into the helicopter, is people will constantly shoot you down and blow you up. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be, like, anti-air weapons in the game, but it's ridiculous that the second you get into the sky, it's just beep, 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 beep. You're constantly getting locked onto. You deploy the flares, but then somebody else is already, locking onto you at the same time, and you can't even survive 2 missiles. You get blown up in 1. So that's my main complaint about it, is I think that the helicopters need a serious buff in that game. Yeah, I'd be excited for a Bully 2. So freedom of speech stops when calls to action begin. Well, the only thing that you really cannot do is you just cannot threaten people. You can't, you can't post something that's, like, illegal. So, like, for example, if, like, two guys are, like, if two guys are, like, talking about a drug deal on social media that they made or something like that, like organizing a drug deal, that's of course illegal. It's not necessarily the speech. It's more of the action. But, there's proof right there that they're doing a drug deal. And, like, when threatening somebody. But, like, everything else is really free speech. Like, I don't think the government should be regulating people's speech online or anything like that. I don't think it should. So, like, people generally should have the freedom to say whatever they want. Even if it's bad stuff, even if it's misinformation, people still have the right to say that. It might be stupid, bad, some of the stuff that they say, but I don't think it's the government's job to control what people say or police the internet. It's the week of Michael, chat. Who's ready to watch Jafar Jackson shout hee-hee at the movies in 4K? 20 likes and you must play MJ the XP on stream. Wait, what? Thank you, Blinded Eagle, for the super chat. What is that? I don't know who Jafar Jackson is, actually. I'm not a big movie person. Which animated film are terrifying, Watership Down or Animal Farm? I actually don't know what Watership Down is, but I do know what Animal Farm is, and I've seen that one. Animal Farm is pretty terrifying. It is. The 1990s movie is pretty terrifying. I hate the new movie they're making. They're making a reboot of Animal Farm. I hate it. I already hate it, because they're turning it into a comedy. And Animal Farm is a pretty disturbing movie. It's meant to be a very dark and violent movie. and they're turning it into like an animated comedy, and I hate that so much. Like that, if George Orwell was here and he saw what they did with the Animal Farm reboot, like he would not approve that at all. Zero. So like that is the whole point of Animal Farm is it's a criticism of communism. That's the whole point of the movie. Is a lot of people didn't understand it at first what the animals represent. It's meant to show exactly what happens when you have communism. Like it starts out where people are excited at first, they think that their lives are going to improve, they think that everybody's going to be equal, and then it just shows how it becomes authoritarian over time. It destroys society, and it shows the prison camps, and it shows the secret police and all the terror that ends up happening later on. That's what Animal Farm was. Animal Farm was basically a parody off of Stalin's Soviet Union. That's what it essentially was. That's who Napoleon is based on in Animal Farm. Not the French dictator, but the character. The character Napoleon in Animal Farm, he's based on Stalin. That's who he's based on. I drive a 2025 Toyota Corolla already 43,000 kilometers due to Uber. I'm planning to pay it off early as possible so that I have little interest. And that's the way you go. The quicker you pay stuff off, the larger payments you make, the less you're going to have to pay in interest, because interest is calculated on how much you owe. And if you you make larger payments, your interest rate is going to go down. It is. So yeah, that's the way to go, Nikki. You're smart with your money. Will there be a playthrough of Ghost Recon Wildlands? Yes. I promise that we will do a playthrough of Ghost Recon Wildlands before GTA 6 comes out. I don't know when, but in the next 7 months, I promise we'll have it. So in the next 7 months, because I got a lot of playthroughs planned, so I can't give you an exact date on when I'll do it. But yes, I promise you, we will do Wildlands. The only thing, I'm probably not going to do Breakpoint, because I don't like Breakpoint, I'll be honest. I don't like the story. I don't like it, but I really like Wildlands. So Wildlands we'll do a playthrough of. We'll definitely do that. Thank you, Until Dusk, for sponsoring my channel for a year. Tell you what, there is a thing where a married couple was sentenced to many years in prison just because they published a photo of a friend. That friend happens to be an active FSB operative. What? How are they supposed to know that? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. There was this. I will tell you something. There was this one YouTuber that I watched. Forget the guy's name, but he had like a video recommended to me. Somebody might know in the comments. But he was like a travel channel. He just goes to different countries, films countries, talks about countries that he visits. And he visited Russia, your country. And what happened to him is he was visiting like parts of Siberia, like the Russian countryside, like the more of the far eastern part. And he was like taking photos, recording things. He's an American, by the way. And what ends up happening is that the Russian police start harassing him out of nowhere. Like, what are you doing here? Why are you taking pictures? And he's like, oh, I'm a travel channel. Here's my channel. He showed them. He's like, I'm a YouTuber. I go to different countries. I like nature. I was recording stuff. And mind you, this guy did not, post anything criticizing the Russian government. He didn't even talk about the Ukraine war or anything. He didn't even talk about Putin or any of that stuff. He was just recording stuff, just the environment in Russia. He was actually helping to promote Russia, ironically. He was helping to make the country look good. But the Russian police were just being toxic. They detained him. They arrested him. They threw him in jail. And what they did was they made him do a drug test, and they told him that he tested positive for meth. And he never did meth before. So literally, they faked his drug test so that they could keep him in jail for longer. They accused him of being a spy. Then when they drove him back to his hotel, and the taxi driver was actually an FSB agent. So like that, and he made a video afterwards, and he said that he's never gonna go back to Russia again, because he said that was like such a terrible experience. He says he's never been treated like that before in any country. And like I said, this guy did not criticize the Russian government. He didn't say anything bad about the Russian government. He didn't talk about the war. He was just a travel channel. And that's exactly what happened to him, stuff like that. So that is, that's just, disgusting that he went for sabbatical. Yes, that's the guy. That's the guy. I remember, I saw his video. I don't even watch his channel a lot, but I did see his video, the Russia incident. I did see it, yeah. I thought Animal Farm was criticizing the food industry abusing animals. No, it is criticizing communism. The farmer that's abusing the animals at the start is supposed to represent the Tsar, the Russian king. The old pig that dies is supposed to be Lenin. Napoleon is supposed to be Stalin. The German farmer that Napoleon makes an alliance with later on is supposed to represent Nazi Germany, and then he, how he backstabs him. That's supposed to represent the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, how Hitler backstabbed Stalin. That's what that was based on. Hi, Pro. I don't know if you remember this, but when I asked you for your advice about my job, how uncomfortable it is, I'll be leaving that place, no notice. Oh, so you're gonna walk out on it. I will just say this, Will, if it's like a really bad environment, like just really, really bad, just walk out of there. Just get out of there. But if it's bad, but it's not like that toxic, then I would just give them 2 weeks notice. Because if you do give them 2 weeks notice, then you can use that as a reference for at least some job experience. But if you don't, then you can't. But if it's like really, really bad, then I would just walk out, leave. That's what a lot of employers don't understand, is that they think that they can fire you at any time, and they can. But what they don't know is that you can also quit anytime you want, and they can't stop you. Have you heard you can finance a Costco hot dog? What? That's like 99 cents. I might give it a try, Axel, yes. Stay away from rural areas of Russia, even region cities. People are really reluctant to outsiders, especially Americans, especially law enforcement, due to propaganda and corruption. Yeah, and I have always really wanted to visit Russia, and you know where I wanted to visit if I went to Russia? I wanted to visit Volgograd, which is where Stalingrad was. I'm a big history guy, and I wanted to visit, the area where the Battle of Stalingrad happened. I wanted to go to the museums. I wanted to visit Mamayev Kurgan, which is it's a giant memorial in Stalingrad to all the Soviet soldiers that died on that hill. 35,000 died on that hill, and they're all buried on the hill. So I wanted to visit places like that. I wanted to also record stuff like that, maybe even make YouTube videos, but I don't want to visit Russia in this current climate. I don't. Like, after I seen what happened to that guy, like, getting detained and harassed by the Russian police like that, I don't want to be that guy who becomes, like, an international incident. So, like, maybe in the future, maybe if some things change and, like, it's more friendly to outsiders, then yeah, I'll definitely visit, 100%. But not right now as it stands. If it is Pro, you have no idea. They have their favorite employees and they talk about you a lot. So they're talking crap. Yeah, I would say about that is, yeah, just leave. But make sure that you have a backup plan, though, Real Will. That's what I'll just say to you. Make sure you have, like, a way to finance yourself, to, like, make money. Make sure you have some extra. What's that, Shiny Knight? Will Pat visit Poland next year? Yes, next year I will visit Poland. It is going to be the first time that I've been in the country since 16 years. So 16 years ago I was in the country. In 2010 was the last time I was in the country. So yes, I will. I'll visit it. Here's the thing. I actually planned on visiting Poland this year. This year I did, but I canceled my trip. The reason that I was gonna visit this November, because I really wanted to visit Poland during the Independence Day, because Independence Day is November. But GTA 6 got delayed and got pushed towards November, and so because of that, I'm not going to be able to. I have to cover GTA 6 when it comes out. That's very important to my channel, so I can't pass that opportunity up. So I have to. So I'll visit next November. So November 2027. That's when I'll come by and visit. Does communism still exist in Russia? Not really, no. There is the Communist Party of Russia, which is the Communist Party of Russia is the largest opposition party in Russia, but it's more like controlled opposition. That's what it is, primarily. So while they might have, like, economic disagreements with the government, which is United Russia, they're the party that controls the government, they really agree with the government for most of their policies. You should come to Colorado. I did have a stop in Denver once, but I don't know if that counts as visiting Colorado.
Hey there.
Yes, I will visit Australia later this year, too. I will do that. But that will be maybe like September, October when I do that. It's okay, Ferris. You don't have to apologize.
Oh, hey. You're in trouble. Okay. I'll deal with it.
I need your help after the stream. I need to get this fan mail done tomorrow afternoon. I need to deliver this letter to Nickelodeon Studios in Burbank. I would be embarrassed if I told my parents. Wait, what? I'm a bit confused, though. Oh, hey, Sasuke. I love your GTA 4 playthrough as well as the video about Dimitri. He's one of the best GTA villains of all time. Sasuke, I also asked you last time on the Red Dead stream, I asked you if you played The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. I don't know if you replied to me. Maybe I missed your comment. Did you play that game, or are you familiar with that game? Favorite characters in Mafia 3? Well, besides Lincoln, it would probably be Donovan. Probably my most favorite character in that game. Yeah, Donovan was pretty chill. Would I ever visit Tahiti? Maybe one day I could do it for like the memes. I could make like a meme video out of it. I could do it. Thank you, Zach Horn, for the super chat. You should visit Las Vegas. I have 3 times. Hey, Professional. I've been enjoying your videos and just watched your 50 Cent playthrough today and enjoyed it. Also, any videos you got coming out. Before the end of April, we will be posting the, before the end of April, we'll be doing the Zero lore video for GTA San Andreas. Professional, do you think that gun control works? No, I don't. Not for the most part. My personal issue with it is I don't like the idea of the government basically blaming people for shooting. So when a shooting happens, it blames everyone, and not everybody that owns a firearm is some psychopath. So I don't like the idea of government punishing people because people commit crimes with guns. I personally hold the person responsible, not necessarily the weapon. Hey Pro, did you check out the Soviet-Afghan War documentary film I mentioned in the last Red Dead Redemption Online stream, the one named Afghan Soviet Experience? No, I haven't, Jolly. I promise I will check it out. I've just been very busy. I'm gonna be flying on Tuesday to visit my family, and I'll be visiting them for a few months. I haven't seen my family in some time. So that's just been busy packing and doing a few things. But I'm also, you know, there's not gonna be any changes in the video schedule because I have my gaming laptop is at my parents' house, so I'll just be using that to make videos and stream. Do you prefer gas, hybrid, or electric cars? I prefer gas cars for the most part. But it really depends on where you live. Because I will tell you, for example, where I live in the upper Midwest, electric cars would not work out here, where I live here in the Midwest. And there's very few people that drive electric cars here in the upper Midwest. Like, almost everyone that I see driving a car here in the Midwest, they are either driving an SUV or it is a pickup truck. That is what it is most of the part, SUV or a pickup truck. Now, I have seen a few Teslas, don't get me wrong, but I live in also a pretty large town. We have, like, charging stations. If you, like, lived somewhere out in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest, like you lived in, like, a small town, electric cars would not work. You would not be able to find a charging station for hundreds of miles. There are local gas stations here, and the gas stations that they have, the pumps are literally from the 1950s. Like, I have pulled into small town gas stations where literally their pumps are from the 1950s. So they're not going to have really many charging stations out here. But I will say that when it comes to the electric cars, it can get very cold out here. Like, the coldest that I've seen is minus 40 Fahrenheit with wind chill, and I think that's minus 40 Celsius. I think it's the exact same thing there. So that's like the coldest day I've ever seen. And those electric cars will not work in this type of environment. The snow and all the other stuff, like a gas car will just work better in that environment. However, though, electric cars I know have their uses. Like, you know, if you live in a more warmer place, you live in a more urban place, then yeah, gas cars can work. The thing is, my mom is considering getting an electric car because she's had her, you know, the same car she's had for, what is it, probably 15 years she's had the same car for. And so she is, she's considering getting an electric car. One of the reasons is because of the gas changes, like the gas prices. She's considering that, and she's considering getting like a charging station installed at her new home when she retires. So she's thinking about that. me see here. Helped. Did other people deliver the cocaine? What's going on here? You should collaborate with the YouTuber Jackknife Finnegan. Yeah, I know who Jackknife is. Jackknife has come by my streams a few times. I've come by his streams. But yeah, we could maybe make a video together in the future. I wouldn't be against that. Yeah, we could do something. Pat will visit Tahiti. He just needs money. Like, say it like Dutch. Money. Like that. Thank you, Snowy Imp. And thank you, Novestorm. Will you own properties in Alaska? Also, explain your incentive for wanting to move to the Midwest, the pros and cons of residing there, and what to expect. Yes, I do want to own a property in Alaska, specifically Anchorage. So, I was planning on actually visiting Anchorage next month. So next month in May, because Alaska, I like the state. I've watched a lot of videos on it. I've also read about the pros and the cons, and I think it's like a state where I might actually want to fully move to. I do like it. I like the mountains. I'm a big fan of the winter. I like winters too. It's far from the other 48 states. It's a different way of life. So I think I would actually like it out there. The reason that I'm not going next month is because airline tickets have increased so much in price, and I'm not paying more than what they're worth because of this stupid war. So I'm just waiting till all that calms down and drops in price, and then I'll come visit. But I gotta see it for myself. First, I gotta see what Alaska looks like for myself before I decide to move there. Let me see. What was my reasons for moving to the Midwest? Affordability. It was affordability. I wanted a different change of scenery. Yeah, and I own property out here. I own 2 rentals out here. So my apartment in the Midwest, I'm never planning on getting rid of that. I'm always planning on keeping that. So that was that. But to relocate permanently might be to Alaska, but I'll have to see on that one. That's maybe like when GTA 6 comes out, and like my GTA 6 videos get pretty popular at that point. I'll probably have like enough money at that point to like make the trip and make the move there, and that's something I can decide on then. Let me see here. The man's brain is an infinite library of knowledge. Well, thank you. Yeah, but my parents are planning on moving eventually, though, Drifter Kids. But no, my parents don't want to move to Alaska. They don't. My dad has told me, oh, if you like it, go up there and move. That's what my dad said. So he was fine with it. But my mom would definitely not want to go there. 100% not. But my mom is planning on retiring to Nevada. That's where she wants to retire to. You can visit Poland and not miss a thing. Most Russian cities look identical anyway. Just be careful out there and be with a human friend who can be your translator. The thing is I was watching this Russian guy that was living in Poland, and he actually said pretty much the exact same thing you said. He said that Polish cities and Russian cities look very similar, but he said that in Poland, cities are more organized and they're cleaner. That's what he said. He said that the way he called it is he called it a nicer Russia. I thought it was weird how he described Poland, but that's the way he said it. Well, I think Fairbanks will be even more expensive than Anchorage, Vertigo. Puerto Rico, I really want to visit. I really want to visit Puerto Rico. Yes, I do want to go there. But I'm not visiting in the summer though. I'm not built for the heat, so I'm not visiting Puerto Rico in the summer. But I would visit Puerto Rico in the winter one day. Yes, I'd do it. But what I will say, what I'll say about Puerto Rico is, I want to finish my Spanish, and I want to get somewhat decent at Spanish, so when I go to Puerto Rico, I can actually talk to people in Spanish, that I'm not going to be using a translator or anything like that. But, I mean, it's difficult. I'm practicing Spanish. Yo estudio español todos los días, but it is difficult. It's still difficult. Like, the thing that I can never get used to in Spanish is I can never get used to, like, certain words are placed differently than in English words. So like the order of words is placed differently. That's sometimes some of the things that I just cannot. I no matter how many times I practice, it just always messes me up. Every stream you spout off anti-communist propaganda without realizing all you do is describe capitalism. You're propagandized by America, buddy. Take a look at some history, shall we? I don't know. I don't know really what you're talking about there, Paul, because I am just answering questions. So I don't choose to like discuss a lot of these things. I'm just replying to whatever people are. That's what these streams are, reading comments. So the topics are really going to be whatever people tell me and ask me in the questions. And a lot of times people have asked me about history and they've asked me about that. And what I described to you was not propaganda. When I said that Animal Farm was based on Stalin's Soviet Union, that's a fact. It's not just propaganda, it's a fact. That entire book, George Orwell wrote it to parody the Soviet Union. That's what it was pretty much for. And you're saying that I'm spreading, what is it, that without realizing all I do is describe capitalism, which my parents grew up in a communist country. My parents grew up in Eastern Europe. So, you know, my parents have described what communism was like to me. I know people that have grown up in plenty of communist countries, and I don't know anybody who really has a positive view. It was my, what was it? My great-grandma on my father's side, she was like a big supporter of Stalin, and she was like crying when Stalin died. But that was like the only person in my family that I can think of that actually supported communism. Like virtually every single other person was like a what absolutely despised it and despised the system. It was this disaster. So they lived through it. And look, what I will say at the end of the day is that capitalism is not a perfect system. It's not. It has its issues. You know, no one's going around here saying that capitalism is the solution to every single thing. But at the end of the day, it's just like my college professor said. He said that capitalism is not a perfect system, but it's better than every other system that's been tried. You look at every single other system throughout history. You know, capitalism or communism. You look at fascism. You know, socialism, monarchism. You know, mercantilism. You know, theocracy. You know, there is just so many different, you know, economic systems that have existed throughout history. Feudalism, also another one. So a lot of different economic systems that have existed throughout history, and every single one has always been a failure. So it's not just communism that's a failure, it's every single other one. Capitalism is really the only system that has managed to survive and has actually managed to build countries up. It's not to say that there's no issue with it, that bad things don't happen, they do. But, you know, we're not like the Industrial Revolution back in the day where, you know, kids are, you know, getting their hands cut off in factories. And stuff like that doesn't happen in America. So, you know, there's things we can improve, there's definitely things we can do better. And you're saying also that I'm propagandized by America, so I really don't know what you're talking about, because if you, I can tell for a fact that you don't watch my streams a lot, because if you watch my streams a lot, you know that I have criticized, you know, the U.S. in several things throughout history. So there's several things. I've even criticized the stupid war, like with Iran. I've said several times that this war is stupid, it should have never happened. So I don't know what you're saying that I'm spreading like American propaganda around. Just because I despise communism doesn't mean that I'm spreading some kind of other propaganda around. So I really don't understand the comment at all there. Let me look at the other ones here. I've heard about Misadventures of Tron Bond, but I've never played it. I didn't have a PS1 in my childhood, but I most certainly love to play it on the Legends Legacy collection. The thing about Misadventures of Tron Bond is I think that Misadventures of Tron Bond is really the only Mega Man game that doesn't have Mega Man in it. So it takes place in the same universe as Mega Man Legends. It takes place about a month before Mega Man Legends takes place, and you play as the villains from Mega Man Legends. So you play as the bad guys that were in the first game. And the reason that game was made was because the villains were so popular in Mega Man Legends that the, you know, Keiji Inafune, who made Mega Man Legends, he wanted to make a game that was centered around the Bonds, the pirates that were in Mega Man Legends, which the Bonds are kind of like based on Team Rocket in a way. It's kind of like their version of that, but that is that's what that was. And the Misadventures of Tron Bond is very different than like Mega Man Legends, where you are actually like robbing banks, you're fighting cops in towns, you are stealing from the docks, stealing crates from the docks and stuff like that. A lot of them you're committing crimes, you're robbing farms. So there's a bunch of different missions that you're doing in that game, and the goal of the game is to try to get as much money as possible. That's what the goal of the game is. It's actually a pretty fun game. Also, that game, Misadventures of Tron Bond, is so rare. I have a copy of it. If you have a PlayStation 1 copy of that game, it's worth $500. That's how much that PS1 disc is worth. I have it. Nico over I fine to Roman. You set me up with a man and you set me up with a cop. Maybe you should give up the matchmaking, you moron. Yeah, Nico has some pretty funny lines too. But you know what I think my favorite line from Nico is? If you ever fail a mission, there's dialogue where Nico says when he fails a mission, and if you fail a mission, he'll say like, Roman, I should have never read your effing emails and stayed away. I think that's the funniest one where he says that one. Weird. Does your parents have an Eastern European accent? Oh yeah, 100%. Both my parents have Eastern European accents. Yeah. They've lived in America for so many decades, but they never developed American accents. Thank you, Nikki. Have I played 171? Yes, I have. It's like the GTA in Brazil kind of game. Good evening, professional. Hope you're doing well. Quick question. Did you ever get the chance to watch the AVGN 200 mini documentary video? No, I haven't, Infinity Daniel. I'm sorry, I've been busy with just a lot of stuff, and just this Tuesday I'm going to fly to see my family, so just been packing and doing a bunch of stuff. So I'm just sorry about that, dude. Let me see. I'm trying to learn Ukrainian. The best thing to do when learning a new language is consistent practice. Well, the best way to learn any kind of language is to talk in the language. That's the best way to learn, is talk to people in that language, because they'll correct you. Like one of the ways that I've learned to speak Spanish a little bit better is what I do is I play Hell Let Loose a lot, and I join the Mexican servers on Hell Let Loose, and everybody on there is speaking Spanish, and I speak Spanish to them. And whenever I do, for the most part, most people are very nice and kind. And if I do say, and they're actually pretty interested that I'm learning Spanish when I join those servers, so people are appreciate that a lot. But they usually correct me, so they usually just say, "Oh no, you're supposed to say it like this." So like they'll correct me in English, and they'll say, "No, you say it like this." So like that's what I've learned is talking to people on games in their language, and people will correct you, they'll improve, and we have a more fluent conversation. So ironically, playing video games can be educational because you can practice speaking a language with people around the world. My grandfather escaped Germany before World War II. That's good. He got out of that situation. That was just Germany was just a sinking hole at that point. It was just Germany was going to go down and drag so many countries down with them. I'll play Hell Let Loose Vietnam when it comes out. I actually signed up for the beta. Do I hate this filter? I don't really have that much of an issue with it. No worries, it's all good. Thank you, Infinity Daniel. Hey Toxic, how you doing, dude? One only thing is U.S.-Iran war is fighting over Hormuz. Yeah, I will tell you. Look. Here's what I will tell you is that the U.S. government is stupid, and I don't want to get into the whole political drama, but I will just say is that the president does not understand how oil prices work. He doesn't, because I remember like a month ago he made a tweet in which he said that, we don't need the Strait open, we produce a lot of our own oil. And then he made another tweet where he said, if oil prices go up, it's good, because American gas companies are making money. No, they don't. It's not good because it's not good for the consumer. And the other thing is that the reason that he was downplaying it a month ago, and then right now he's like so pissed and he's like, open the effing Strait. Like I saw that tweet, it was just ridiculous. The reason he's so upset about that is because he knows exactly what that's going to do to gas prices. It's going to bring... literally, it's gonna destroy the entire world economy. So the entire world economy can actually suffer because of this. So the reason that it doesn't matter that the United States produces a lot of its own gas is because gasoline prices are determined by global trade. They're determined by global value. So it's not determined based on what you have in the country. So even if America is producing gasoline in Alaska, like let's just say that all of our gasoline in America comes from Alaska, right? Even if all of our gas came from Alaska, gas prices would still go up during this conflict. You know why? Because gas prices are set globally. 20% of the world's gasoline comes from the Strait of Hormuz. And when that is blocked off, there's going to be less gasoline in circulation, and because of that, gas prices are going to go up. And so that's basically why gas prices are going up. So it doesn't matter where the gas is produced. Gas prices are set globally by global trade. They're not set based on where you produce the gas. And because 20% of the world's gas is being blocked right now from entering the market, there's less gas in the market, and because of that, that's basically what that's doing, is it's increasing the value of the gas. But that's whole Strait of Hormuz crap. I will say that was like ridiculous, where like the strait was open, and then the U.S. government was like, oh yeah, it's open, we did it, and then it was closed, and then it was open, and then it was closed again, all in like the same day. Like the whole thing is a disaster. It's going bad. It's really going bad. Let me see here. I didn't really celebrate Easter this year, no. I was visiting some friends at that time. So during that Easter time, I didn't stream during that time, but I was visiting some friends, and I was going on a trip and seeing some friends, and that's what I was doing. So I'm not a very religious person. I'm more of an agnostic, but yeah. I kind of lean more towards believing. I do lean more towards believing. So that's that I actually don't remember those episodes, Mario. Can you describe to me what happened in those episodes? I'm Brazilian, and I really enjoy your videos about the game's history. I know you're focused on open world games, but I'd love for you to play Resident Evil and create a lore video. Thank you, Denardi. I don't know if I would be qualified to produce a lore video on Resident Evil, because I've never really played the games. I've played Resident Evil 5 and Raccoon City, but I don't know the lore that well. But I could do a play for Resident Evil. I could do that. I could do that on the channel. It's not an issue for me. Well, East Germany was a terrible state to live in. You would not want to live in a country like East Germany, no. Do you understand the letter of the Spanish music? So, some Spanish songs, I'll understand a little bit of what they're saying, but if they're singing too fast, I'm not going to understand. I missed some super chats. Let me see. Who did I miss? Thank you. Oh, and thank you, Infinity Daniel. Thank you for the super chat. Pro, another question. Correct me, but are you against taxing the wealthy? The reason why I asked is because I want to know what are the cons and the best alternatives. Thank you for the super chat. So this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I'm answering the super chat. I don't agree with that. And the reason that I don't agree with it is because here's the thing is, politicians constantly talk about taxing the rich, right? They constantly talk about it, say tax the rich, do this. But here's the thing. Does anything ever really come out of it? Do you ever get anything better? Does anything ever happen? Like, does it? So just think about that. You know, people tax the rich, and is your living standard going to improve? Are the roads going to get better? Is stuff like that? Because I grew up in New York, and New York is one of the most taxed places in America. And I actually was in Nassau County, where that's where my parents lived in Long Island, and that is literally the most taxed, I think it's the most taxed county in the entire country. And I will tell you that I saw plenty of potholes in Nassau County, and this is not, in just some back roads area. These were in the middle of towns. I've seen ridiculous things where there's construction scams. I've seen them in Long Island, where construction workers will be sitting and repairing a road there's nothing wrong with just because they're trying to milk hours. They do stuff like that. They make up fake projects. Those are scams they do. So, now getting to this, there's a difference between rich and super rich. And I'm much more sympathetic towards people who are rich versus super rich. Like super rich, I'm talking about like billionaires, like people that are like very, very rich. They have like billions of dollars that they could not spend that in their lifetime. I don't really care for those people. I don't feel for those people that much. But like a millionaire, somebody who like, for example, started from nothing. They built their business up. They built a successful business, and they didn't inherit wealth. I have a lot of respect for somebody like that. But here's the thing. If you increase taxes on like the wealthy, right, what's going to end up happening is that only the people that are like millionaires are going to pay more in taxes. And for people wondering, no, I am not a millionaire. For people wondering, I know some people think I'm a millionaire. I'm not. But people that are millionaires are going to end up paying more in taxes, and you're not going to increase taxes on the billionaires. The billionaires, their taxes are not going to go up, so it's only going to go up on the millionaires. And what's going to happen is the billionaires can afford to stay in states like New York, places like that. But what that's going to do is it's going to take all the millionaires out. And I will tell you this: let's just say that we had 10,000 millionaires leave New York versus 1 billionaire, right? Making 10,000 millionaires leave the state is going to be way worse than having 1 billionaire leave the state. Because those 10,000 millionaires are going to employ so many people, they run so many businesses, and if they basically take their business to another state and then they close it down, that's going to lose a lot of jobs. That's what actually happened in Washington State. So Washington State, their official constitution says that there's no state income tax allowed, but then what ended up happening is the politicians went back on that, and they still pass an income tax even though it's against the state constitution. And what ended up happening is the CEO of Starbucks basically said, that's it, I'm done. And he left. And he basically just took all of Starbucks out of Washington State, which is going to be a disaster. That's how many locations are going to close, how many jobs are going to go. And going back, this is going to be a little bit complex question to answer here, is that for people wondering, no, I'm not against taxing people that are rich more, but if you're going to tax somebody that's rich, tax the people that are like the super billionaires. Tax those people. Don't tax people that are like millionaires. Like somebody that has like a few $1,000,000 and stuff like that. Don't increase taxes on them, because all that's going to do is that's going to get them to basically leave the state. There's certain points where people see how much their money is getting spent, and they're going to leave the state. And if you look at how the U.S. government spends money, the U.S. government doesn't even know how to balance a checkbook. They can't even balance a simple checkbook. And you're telling me that like increasing taxes is going to be the solution to this, when these people aren't even spending the money they have right now correctly. Like, they're so incompetent with their money. They don't really know what they're doing. You look at like, California, for example. California's had a high-speed rail. And I love high-speed rail, don't get me wrong. I would fully support that project if it was actually being built, but it's not. So California was building high-speed rail for over 10 years, and they spent billions on the project, and they haven't even put any track down. How does that work? How do you spend billions of dollars on high-speed rail and you don't even put any track down? That's how government wastes money. A lot of it is corruption, but a lot of it is also incompetence. You have like daycares, for example, where people will be defrauding the government, and they'll be stealing so much money from the government, and the government isn't even going to do anything about it. They don't even attempt to stop it. They don't do anything about that. So that's why I have no confidence in the government spending its money correctly. I don't have the confidence in the government balancing its budget. I would much rather taxes be as low as possible, and everybody just keep their money, keep it in your paycheck, spend it on yourself. Don't give it to the government, because the government are stupid. The government are dumb when it comes to to managing your tax money. If we actually got some kind of good service for that, if the government actually knew what they were doing and actually did their job, then it wouldn't necessarily be against some higher taxes. But if I actually knew what they were going for and what they were building and stuff like that, but as it stands right now, how incompetent the government is, I'm not for it. Now, to answer the other part of your question, no matter how much you raise taxes, the billionaires are always going to pay nothing. They're going to pay zero. So when it comes to like property taxes and stuff like that, what billionaires do is that they pay more in property taxes than a lot of other people. That is true. But when it comes to income taxes, they pay almost nothing in income taxes. So like you'll have people like Elon Musk, for example, where they pay nothing in taxes, nothing in federal income taxes. So you actually, as a viewer, if you're an American, you actually pay more money than Elon Musk does in federal income taxes. And the reason that Elon Musk pays no federal income taxes, what these billionaires do to basically get around that system, is that they borrow an insane amount of money. So what they do is they take all of their money. So what Elon Musk does is he gets paid in stocks. He gets paid in Tesla stock and other companies' stocks. And what he does is, because he has all that money in the stock market, he can argue, oh, I don't have any money. All my money is in the stock market. And then what he does is he takes out loans. He takes out like giant loans, like loans worth like hundreds of millions of dollars. And he basically tells the government, I'm broke. I have no money. I'm in debt. And even though, you and me, know that he's not in debt, he's very rich, he has a lot of money. On paper, he appears that he has no money on paper. So we know that he has a lot of money, but on paper, he doesn't have any money. That's at least how it works. He says, oh, all my money is in stocks, and I'm borrowing a ton of money from the government, so I'm in debt, so I'm not making any money. I'm in debt. And because of that, you can't tax somebody who's not really making money, you get me? And so that is basically how they get away with paying no federal income taxes, that they basically just put all their money in stocks, they take huge loans out, and the loans that they take out, they get very low interest rates, very low, and they put their properties, their mansions, and they put their yachts and their stocks as collateral. And so companies see, oh, he gave me his giant, yacht and all his stocks as collateral. So even if he can't pay that off, I'll take that. And the interest rate that they pay is very low, compared to what they would pay in federal income taxes. And no matter what you do, how many regulations you put, how many things you change, these guys, these really ultra rich billionaires, these guys have a team of lawyers on standby 24/7, and their lawyers know the tax code so much that it's almost impossible to get them to pay taxes, because they know every single loophole, every single thing. No matter how much you try to patch it, their lawyers will find some way to get around it. They will find something. Always something. What a lot of rich people do is they do depreciation, or they basically say that their skyscrapers are losing value. So like a billionaire will own a skyscraper in New York, and they'll say, oh, my skyscraper is losing millions of dollars in value every single year because it's getting old. The pipes are failing and stuff like that. They'll make up stuff like that. But in reality, the value of these properties actually goes up in value every single year. It doesn't go down. But at the same time, is if you own a rental property, you can do that exact same thing. You can do depreciation, where you can argue that it differs by state, but you can argue, for example, oh, my rental property is going down in value, when in reality it could actually be going up. But I would highly suggest you research the state's laws on that, because every state is different. But that's basically what a lot of the rich people do. So, my solution to that, if you want to know what my solution is to stop that from happening, is it would just get rid of income tax entirely. Just completely get rid of federal income tax. Completely get rid of it. Because the government has shown that they're incompetent. They don't know how to spend their money correctly. They spend their money on stupid wars. They don't fix potholes in the roads. The government is stupid. They don't know how to build a high-speed rail. They allow daycare scams to happen. The government is just stupid. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. So why should I trust these people with my money if the government doesn't know how to balance their money? So that's the way I see it: is get rid of federal income tax and let everybody keep their own money, because the billionaires are paying nothing. They're already paying nothing. So why should the common man or woman pay anything? Nobody should be paying it. I never liked the idea of income tax anyways. It's always been like a tax that punishes you for making more money, and at the same time is the rich billionaires, they pay almost nothing. So all it does is it punishes everybody who's working class, middle class, and rich, but then the ultra billionaires pay nothing. So that I never liked the idea of it. So I know that was a long explanation. I hope that answered your question on income taxes, but that is that's basically my view on it. It's a disaster. It is. It's how it is currently. Let me see here. Well, you know what lobbying is? Lobbying is basically a nice word for corruption. That's all it is. That's what lobbying is. Lobbying is basically a nice word for corruption. Let me see. I missed a bunch of super chats. Good evening, Pro. Hey, Shades. How you doing, man? Oh, man, I'm sorry I missed a bunch of comments. Let me see. It's a damn shame that these, MAGA still support, President of the United States who get away with war crimes. Yeah, well, I don't want to get into the whole political drama stuff, but I don't like all these politicians. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans. All of honestly, for me, the way I see it, and I don't want to sound cruel when I say this, but politicians are the scum of the earth for me. They really are. Like, politicians are literally the scum of the earth. Like, I cannot stand politicians from just it just the way I personally see it is, and I'm not even a religious person, but if the devil does exist, if he really does exist, and he came down on this planet right now, his favorite people would be politicians, because of how much they lie, cheat, and steal to get to the top. He would admire that and admire how ruthless they are. That's basically it. So I just politicians for me are literally the scum of the earth. They're some of the most despicable people. So Pro, I'm trying to get an autograph for a Lincoln Loud VA, but every 2 years they get a new voice actor that I wanted your help after stream. What can I do to help, though, Mark? Thank you for the super chat, poor Shattuck, but what can I do to help? Pro, I live in Puerto Rico. Do you like it there? I want to visit one day. Hey, what's up? Is that Korean, by the way? I can tell that language is Korean, like the text. I don't know, I can't read Korean, but I can tell it's Korean from the text. Martial arts gyms in Russia are heavily monopolized by the government and Russian Orthodox Church. Most organized crime recruits come from them as early as 90s or even earlier. You know, one thing I will say, do you know what I never understood? You know what I never understood about Russia, and I don't think I will ever understand this about Russia, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, but one thing that I never understood about Russia is that there are so many people in Russia that are like so proud of the Soviet past, like the Soviet history and like the Soviet Union and everything like that. But then at the same time there are so many people in Russia that are like very, religious, very like Russian Orthodox religious. And like I've seen like ridiculous things where I've seen like Russian commanders, for example, like generals that have like a picture of Stalin and then have like a Russian Orthodox cross. And like for me, that is like a complete oxymoron. I don't understand that because Stalin destroyed so many churches in Russia. Like Stalin despised the Russian Orthodox Church. Like Stalin was like a hardcore atheist. Like he hated religion. He despised it. And the Soviet Union did as well. The Soviet Union persecuted so many religions. They destroyed so many churches, mosques, temples. They persecuted Jews, Muslims, Christians. There are so many different, Buddhists, Hindus. There's so many different religions that lived in the Soviet Union that were persecuted. And so I never understood this, that in Russia, that so many people, like, admire the Soviet Union, but then at the same time they're so Russian Orthodox religious, like, they're so into the Russian Orthodox Church, which is, like, for me, it makes no sense. Because, like, how can you claim to be religious and claim to be, like, a supporter of the Russian Orthodox Church, but at the same time supporting the Soviet Union, which was, like, the biggest persecutor of the Russian Orthodox Church? Like, I'm not trying to laugh here, but I just find that so ridiculous about Russia. Like, I never understood that logic. Maybe you can explain that a little bit to me, Skiff, but I always was generally confused on that. It makes no sense to me, like, how somebody that's, like, religious can be a fan of the Soviet Union when all the Soviet Union did was it pursued a policy of state atheism and just persecuted so many religions so badly. You repeat yourself a lot. It's a habit. I'm a New Yorker, and whenever us New Yorkers talk, we move our hands a lot, like I'm doing here. And what we do is when we repeat ourselves, we emphasize things. So I'll repeat maybe the same thing twice or three times, and then I'll emphasize it. So just that's basically how we talk in New York. It's like a cultural thing. It's a common thing. Thank you for your perspective. It's a lot to think about. The super rich should definitely be paying their taxes and remove the federal income tax. Yeah. So like, look, I have a buddy of mine that's a fairly wealthy person. He's a pretty rich guy. I don't know him in real life. I just know him from online. But I have a friend of mine that's a pretty rich guy. He's not like billionaire level, but he's pretty rich with his money. And he told me once, he said that we wouldn't have to pay federal income tax if every single billionaire paid there. So if every single billionaire, paid their federal income taxes, the common man and woman wouldn't even have to pay their income taxes. But yeah, that's what I'll say is that as it currently stands, just get rid of the whole tax entirely. If billionaires are not going to pay federal income taxes, if they're not, why should everybody else pay it? So get rid of it for everyone. Just abolish the federal income tax. And that's why you also can't trust politicians, because the current government in power, they said that they would get rid of the income tax. They haven't done it. Are they going to do it? They're not going to do it. It's just all talk. It's all politics. It's nonsense. Let me see here. Pro, Spanish is my first language, and I'll say your Spanish is alright. Many people's Spanish is worse, so you're average, but you'll get better with practice and being around the language and culture. Yeah, and I really want to speak Spanish. I really want to learn good Spanish. I do. But it's just like sometimes when I'm learning it and I'm taking lessons on it, it's like sometimes I'm almost to the point where I'm going to give up, because like I'm getting basic Spanish, but then there's so many different phrases and the way you say things differently, and it's like, how am I going to remember all this? How am I going to memorize all this? It's difficult. I really wish I would have learned Spanish when I was a child. I really wish I would have, because if I learned Spanish when I was a child, I would be speaking fluently right now. That's it. I learned Polish from when I was a kid, and because of that, I can speak Polish fluently. But if I was to learn Polish right now, hell no, I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, somehow the wires get crossed. I think it's got to do with the church getting into the government. It's silly. Yeah. Have I ever visited Finland? No, but I want to. When you first played GTA Online, what was your first impression? And based on your experience, do you like GTA Online now? And if so, and if you do, why? So right now, if I was to give GTA Online like a rating, one between 1 and 10, what would I give this game? 8 and 10. Probably give it 8 and 10. because for the most part, there are so many different ways to make money on the game right now. There is you can sell in private sessions now. They got rid of the stupid security raids, so you don't get raided. The police aren't going to come into your business and raid it constantly anymore. So GTA Online is the best it's ever been right now. The only thing I would get pissed about is the Cayo Perico nerfs. Like, those I really didn't like. But other than that, the game is pretty good for the most part. Now, when GTA Online first came out, like, if I was to rate it in 2013, you know what the rating I would give GTA Online in 2013? 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. That is literally what the rating I would have given it when the game first came out. And even though I know some people might think that I'm harsh when I say this, but GTA Online was garbage when this game first came out. Like, this game is terrible. This game is my favorite online game right now. So out of all my online games, this is my favorite game. But when that game first came out in 2013, I played that on PS3. That game was garbage. It was terrible. Anybody here in chat play this game when it first came out in 2013, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This game was terrible. The servers were terrible. People's characters were getting deleted. You couldn't connect anything. You would get stuck in the clouds. It was the most buggiest garbage I played. And all the missions would pay you like $2,000. It was like a fixed rate. It was like $2,000 this and that. And so I literally had to spent like 10 hours grinding missions just so that I could afford the basic apartment. And what happened is, guess what? I got up to level 18. In the first day that I played GTA Online, I got up to level 18, and I bought my first apartment. And the first apartment that I bought was actually, it was this one right here. It's gonna be, it was at that little intersection here. Yes. So it was that first apartment that I bought was the one that's right around here. And I thought that I finally accomplished something by getting an apartment, getting a house for my character. But guess what happened? Guess what? And a lot of people are going to find this funny. I spent the entire day, I spent 10 hours. I played GTA Online for 10 hours straight. Literally 10 hours straight. That's how long I was invested in that game. I played the whole day, non-stop. And I got up to level 18. I remember it was level 18. I did so many contact missions that I finally had enough for my apartment. And guess what happened? The next day, the servers deleted my character. Deleted my character and my apartment. It was all gone. I had to make a new character. I had to get all my rank back, all my money. That's how garbage the GTA Online servers were when this game first launched. So it was terrible. It was terrible. This game was disgusting. And I will tell you something. This same crap is going to happen when GTA 6 Online comes out. I can definitely picture it right now. The amount of people that are going to get on this game, and they're going to try to play GTA 6 Online all at the exact same day, and the servers are going to get overloaded. The servers aren't going to be able to handle all that many people getting on at the same time too. The whole thing is going to go really bad right when it launches. Like, and there's going to be like YouTubers, people like me that are going to upload videos like, the state of GTA 6 Online and stuff like that, where we're going to be talking about all the glitches and stuff like that happening. It's going to happen. Which German-speaking country would you like to visit? Germany, Austria, Luxembourg, Switzerland, or Liechtenstein? Switzerland. Switzerland is one country I've always wanted to visit. I like the mountains a lot. Okay, KPR. Almost half a year left. Can't wait for GTA 6. Yeah, I can't wait either, Mr. Negative, but it could be, it could be a disaster. The online, I think the single player is going to be great. I think it is. But the online could be a disaster. It really could be. Okay, Brandon. But Brandon, it's at 16:20 is when it starts. So I can still help with one more business after this. Before it does it. What can't John Cena see? Oh, thank you, Mr. Tiger. You know what John Cena can't see? He can't see Taiwan. That's what he can't see. It's Taiwan. Okay, so this right here. This is the first apartment that I bought. See this building, this green building that I'm driving towards right there on my right? That's literally the first apartment that I bought right there. Remember that one? And that's before my character got deleted. But yeah, this game was like terrible when it launched. It's a great game now, but it was such a disaster when it launched. What state is the least expensive and the safest to live in? Least expensive and safest to live in? Both, a combination of both. This would be a difficult one. Mississippi would be the cheapest state to live in the country, but it would not be high and safe, because Mississippi does have a bit of violence. There's still parts of Mississippi that are very nice, but there are parts of it that has a high violent crime rate. Probably like a place like Iowa maybe, Iowa or South Dakota, like places like that. Maybe like North Dakota too. They'd be pretty affordable. if you can handle the winters, though. But they're pretty safe for the most part. There's really very little to no crime in those areas. And if there is crime, it's usually some, like, biker gangs, or it's some, like, trailer park gangsters, like, you know, cooking meth somewhere. But there's really, for most part, like, you can walk around a lot of, like, Midwestern towns, and you don't have to worry about getting jumped or somebody robbing you. It's really not going to happen. I don't think I've seen that one, Mario. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Can you say, hey, I'm walking here? Hey, I'm walking here. I saw snow for the first time in decades. It was amazing. Oh, did it stay or did it melt right away? It's so annoying that people keep supporting communism. They need to hear from North Korean defectors, Cubans, Vietnamese, Polish, Laotians, Venezuelans. People will tell you about communism. Yeah. And there's so many people that went through communism. And, what's it called? You know, our fan group that that we were in for the Fallout event when we went to Good Springs. You know, in that Fallout fan group, my best friend, he's Korean American. You know, I'm Polish American, and then we had another guy in the group who was Chechen American. And I literally, one time I said in the group, isn't it crazy that all of our parents, you know, come from such different parts of the world? You know, your parents come from Chechnya, my parents are from Poland, your parents are from Korea. But despite all of our parents coming from such different parts of the world, communists wrecked all of our parents' homeland. They wrecked Korea, they split Korea in half, they destroyed Chechnya, and they destroyed Poland. So literally is, that's crazy. That's the amount of influence that communists have had. They've destroyed so many countries around the world. It is crazy. Thank you, IB4IT. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. Thanks, dude. Would I play KCD2? Well, what's that? I will watch some sports, but if I'm gonna watch some sports, it'll be some, you know, big boxing fight, or it will be, the World Cup in soccer and stuff like that. Sometimes I will watch, like, professional players play billiards pool, but I don't know if that counts as sports. Yes, the term Molotov cocktail actually comes from the, it comes specifically from the Winter War, when the Soviet Union invaded Finland. That's where it comes from. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to get over to Brandon right now. Help Brandon with these survivals. Pizza, how many businesses do you still got left? That 50-cent game you're playing is hilarious. Yeah, it is. It's funny. How about the Just Stop Oil tournament? Oh, I remember that. Yes, I remember when they did that.
Looks like...
The Soviet invasion of Finland. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm just losing my track of thought. So when the Finns, you seem well educated. Thank you. So one mistake I made. Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact is the pact to invade Poland. When the Soviets invaded Finland, the foreign minister of the Soviet Union, his name was Molotov, And the Finns named the Molotov cocktail after Molotov when they were throwing that at Russian tanks. Maybe I also might want to learn boxing one day. Let's skip. When was this? What, the Winter War? It was, Winter War started in November 1939, and it lasted until March 1940. Pro, an Amazon warehouse worker fell off the top tier and died, and the workers were told to keep working? What? What? When did this happen? Where did this happen? Where did this happen? Amazon is such a crap company. I had a buddy of mine in real life that worked at Amazon. Oh my god, he didn't work packing, but he delivered. And he told me how he had this phone from Amazon, and they would just constantly text him, where are you? Where's the status of the package? Like, even when there was traffic and there was stuff on the road, like, that supervisors were just so annoying. Like, they would just harass him so much. What happened to Johnny Cash at the end of Manhunt? He probably escaped the city. Okay, let's help Brandon, beat the weed survival here.
Oh, so you have zero manners.
Do we all have to take a hit at the same time? Okay, pizza's here. Brandon's not in here, so I... Oh, Jess is here. Brandon, if Brandon takes the hit now, he'll join in. I wonder if it's still 20 if it's done with multiple people. Wait, is my helicopter still here? Oh, Brandon's here, okay. I can just use this. You could use a helicopter in the first wave if you just leave it here. Hey, GB. Okay, so it's still the same amount regardless of the amount of people that you play with. Okay. You like this event? It was okay. It was a bit weird. I didn't like how I couldn't use my own weapons. Yeah, this is where the cult is. I love sushi, yep. When do you think we'll get the next trailer for GTA 6? Sometime either in May or June, probably. Yeah, probably something around this time. No, Shades. I don't. I know what that means, but no. It's better if we all split up, because if we're all in the same location, they're all gonna group up on us. No, what is that, SR? Oh crap, the RC cars are in this. I keep forgetting about those. Well, yeah, Ryder was always a scumbag warrior, man. I'm playing GTA 4 right now, and if you, and you don't have to kill, Minkov. He bailed out of the car when it was on fire and ran off saying that I had killed him. You're talking about the guy that ULP has you assassinate, right? Like the guy you go into his house and you read his emails. That's the guy. And yes, that is true. But I don't think that's canon. I think it's just a glitch. Because if he bails out of his car, the mission counts as him surviving or dying. So it's yeah. Someone get the RPG. Blow all these vans up. Where's the last one? You know what I think is going to happen, Mr. Negative? I think that Call of Duty is going to be released early this year. I think it's going to come out in October. Because they're not going to want to release it in the same month as GTA 6. They not. That is suicide. They know that. So they're going to release it, I think, 1 month beforehand. I think they're going to release in October. I think that's what they're going to do. We'll see. Do not let the fire guys get near you. Yeah, I know, Liskiff. I know. This survival is not bad at all if you have multiple people with you on it. It's not bad at all. Got no snacks left. Wonderful. Is there such a thing as international language? Well, the closest thing that comes to that is English, I guess. English is just so widely used around the world. Well, what I will say about it is you can argue that America is not a truly capitalist country because you still have to pay property tax. You have to pay tax, or the government's going to take it. So it's like, do you really own your own property then? You know, that's the argument. Oh, the minigun, right. Let me go grab that. Legalization of marijuana, I think it should be put to a referendum. Let the people decide on it. And do it on a state-by-state basis. Let the states decide. Okay, Mark. I can reply to your message later. Okay, this is the final one. Hope your day was great. Did you play a mobile game called Clash of Clans back in the day? No, I haven't. But I know the game, though. Come on, climb. How do you deal with burnout from your old job? Well, I never really got over it. It was when I finally quit. That's when it finally started healing, and that's when I guess I fully got over it at that point. Is that it? For one of your future cosplays in GTA 6 that I would like is Jason Palm Tree shirt. Yeah, I will do a bunch of Jason outfits for GTA 6 when it comes out. There we go. I hope that helped you, Brandon. No problem. Who needed help with a heist, by the way? I know somebody needed help with a heist, right? Who was it? Favorite Jason Statham movie? I liked Homefront. I also liked The Beekeeper. The Beekeeper was pretty good, too. Later in this year, Ant-Man. Oh, Kirsten. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Wow, the 50 Cent video is doing really well. We're approaching 10,000 views already. I see people really like that game. Am I still playing Spider-Man before GTA 6? Yes, you bet. I'll do it. No, Chine. Yes, he did. James, that's true. Yes, Poland did conquer Russia back in the day. That was in 1610 and 1612. They lost. You missed my super chat earlier. I'm really sorry, Appalachian. Okay, Mark. I'll look at it after. What did you want to ask me, Appalachian? I'm sorry I didn't see it. What was your question? Artwork? Okay, let's do it then. I'm ready, Kirsten. No, but I've seen Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. I've seen that one. That one's pretty good. Spanish I know is a very common language around the world, but it's English. I don't know if there's really an international language, but the closest would be English. I'm not happy where I work at. I've been thinking about doing YouTube for some time. Oh, what I will say, YouTube is a great job to do, Ed Lopez. But I will also say is that do YouTube as like a hobby, but don't lose your main source of income. Because YouTube takes a lot of time to grow. Because when I was growing on my channel, even when I had like 100,000 subscribers, I was still working at my retail job. Maybe I should have quit at that point, but it was YouTube just took off on its own for me. It just happened. I got popular, and it was, I was very fortunate and blessed in that. But you should also have like a side income. So you want to rely on other sources of income, but don't just quit your job just for YouTube, because you want to grow. When you grow over time, and you get enough subscribers that and viewers that you can get a decent income from it, then quit your job at that point. But unless you're really unhappy at your job, but I would say at that point is to try to find another job before that. But this doesn't mean you can't succeed on YouTube. It's hello, sir. Are you familiar with Nitrix Warlord? Yes, he's a YouTuber. I know him. What about him, Lastroman? And Appalachian, what did you want to ask me? Did you post your comment? Fidelity before man trap. I know.
Come on, quick out the chute. Boss lady's office is crawling with bugs. Take the stairwell on your right up to the first floor and follow the hall around. Someone will show you through to the infestation.
Good work so far. You're in the staff lobby. Try your best to act normal in front of security. Okay, now go through the double doors behind the main desk like the professional exterminators you
YouTube
are.
is a luck-based gig. Yeah, I will agree with that. I will agree. A lot of YouTubers, they don't like saying that, but there is a lot of luck involved in it. It is. I was lucky that my videos got recommended. If my videos didn't get recommended and I wouldn't have taken off at that point, I would not be where am right now. So yeah, I do agree there's a lot of luck involved in it. But once you build up that initial audience and you start building up, I would say there's more skill. But at the start, it's all about luck, because it's trying to get your channel recommended through the algorithm.
Just like we planned. Ignore the bugs and get to the cargo elevator. Alright, this is a little something I cooked up especially for you. It'll spoof fingerprint recognition based on an arrangement of partial data. No need for skin grafts or severed hands. Just select the partial print tiles and
it's also your stellar personality. Well, thank you.
Once you've made your choice, run the simulation and see how it stacks up. You'll get a few failed attempts before the scanner realizes what we're doing. Take too many bites at the cherry, or take too long to get through the door once it's open, the alarm goes off and our day gets a lot worse.
No, I've never heard of that. Who's that, Shine? Yeah, and if I would have worked in retail in 2020, I would have dealt with that COVID stuff, and I do not want to work in that situation. What do you mean, Carlos?
Well, this is as far as those disguises will get you. Make sure you're not seen and get to the man trap.
Hey, who the hell is...
Okay. Swipe. Really good work. Really good work so far on this run. Okay, gotta put fidelity mode on to make sure we don't get man-trap glitched. What was your question, Appalachian? How the heck do you do the casino heist so fast? You're the man pro. I've just been playing this heist for years. I'm used to everything.
Okay, so far so bueno. Push on to the vault.
What's the best thing you can say about your retail gig? When I worked in retail, it gave me people skills, talking to multiple people at the same time too, and I made some friends. That's about it. You have to go into your outfits section. Outfits in your wardrobe, Brandon. My thoughts on Mexican fathers? Thank you, Sel, for the super chat. I'm a bit confused what you mean. Let's see who opens this first. I gotta cosplay Lucy as well. That's...
Expensive to me. Let's give it a new home. Good news. Seeing as we stayed under the radar, we have a little more time here. Now, your hacker can block the security sensors while you're in the vault, but only for a while. If the system goes quiet for too long, it triggers the alarm as a failsafe. And, did I mention that if...
Pearl, do you go to the gym? I try to go multiple times a week, yes. I also need a new job. I was recently fired from being a bank teller. After 2 years, I hate every second of it. It's a glorified sales job with no commission. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I hope everything goes good for you now. Okay, we got this. Jobs where you serve people suck. Yes, I agree with you on that. He was a prince in ancient China. Oh, so the world's first documented serial killer. Well, I haven't heard about that one. That guy sounds like a complete psycho. This is from LA Noire. This picture here. This is LA Noire. You're from Polska? No, my parents are from Poland. I can see you have the Macedonian flag on there. Are you Macedonian?
40 seconds.
I'm good with geography, so I recognize that flag right away. Nothing in these two. Okay. Brandon, in 15 seconds we leave.
20 seconds left. Don't dawdle.
I changed my hair from black to blonde again. Mixing it up a little bit here.
10 seconds. Time's up.
I mean, Pierston, not Brandon. I'm a bit confused. Sorry. Swipe here. Really good work. Really good run so far. We're doing really good. Okay, go through.
Now stay calm. Back the way you came, through the checkpoint. Nothing to see here. Get in the cargo elevator and use your key card. Play it cool.
Okay, let's go here. Do you have any playthroughs where you talk history as much as Black Ops 1? Yes, Call of Duty World at War. Make sure that you watch my World at War playthrough. World at War, I talk even more history than the Black Ops playthrough.
We need a fresh start if you're gonna make it out of here under the radar. Very sharp. Now relax, channel your inner self-important douchebag, and waltz right through the front door. They're closing in on us. We need to pick up the pace. Security is sweeping the whole building. Stay one step ahead, or this whole thing goes south. Now, we got your weapons in through the laundry chute. It's, you guessed it, in the laundry room. As long as you stay calm, those outfits should get you from here.
I don't work in that retail job anymore, but I do have a few sources of income. I make most of my money for YouTube, but I also have 2 rental properties that I make money from. Am I scared? Scared of what? An Appalachian, did you ever tell me what your question was?
You're looking good, but don't push your luck. Stay away from the cops. Remember, they know the vault's been hit, but they don't know who you are or where you are. They have patrols sweeping the whole place, and all the civilians have been evacuated. So if they see you, they'll know it's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer. You should avoid the bulk of the cops this way. The only thing that matters is making it to your ride. Get to the getaway bikes. They're in position now. Hustle!
Oh, it's motorcycles. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, no. Okay, oh, crap. Oh, God. Okay.
If the buyer hears so much as a siren, this whole thing goes up in smoke. Lose the cops.
Trying to lose the cops in between this. Wonder if we're gonna get Elite Challenge done on this. I'm actually much better with bikes than I am with cars. This bike does have the boost when you slow down too. There we go, lost him. I'm good.
I knew this would be sweet. Liberating large amounts of private equity from private equity. That's something even the IRS has trouble doing. But you strolled out of there, carrying their crown jewels right under their noses. The ultimate humiliation. Oh, I've taken a whole lot of scores, but none of them has been sweeter than this.
Did Ho Chi Minh actually like the U.S.? No, he didn't. No, that's all a bunch of lies. Like, it's all nonsense when people say, oh, Ho Chi Minh respected America and then America betrayed him. It's all a bunch of nonsense. It's not true. Ho Chi Minh was... Oh my god, what a fail. You've got to be kidding me. This is just such a... Oh my god. You've got to be kidding me. Seriously? This... That... Oh my god. trying to talk history while I play games and stuff like this happens. This is just... My god, we just lost the cops and this crap happens, and now this is again... What I was trying to say is Ho Chi Minh was a member of the French Communist Party even in the 1920s, and he always hated the U.S. It was just a nonsense. It was a nonsense argument that he respected the U.S. The U.S. helped him during World War II when he worked with the OSS when he was fighting against the Japanese, but that's about it.
Get to the getaway bikes. They're in position now. Hustle! You should avoid the bulk of the cops this way. The only thing that matters is making...
No, it's not your fault, Kenny. It's... I feel so embarrassed right now. I literally feel so embarrassed. That was such a epic fail right there. I might just make that into a short, because how stupid that was. That was such a...
It's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer.
Would I rather our GTA Online characters die, get arrested, or retire? Retire. I don't even have the Uzi anymore. Okay. Yeah, no, the Ho Chi Minh sabotaged me right there. Yeah, damn communist.
There he is.
Yeah, thank you, Jolly, for the super chat. Yep. Oh my, you've got to be kidding me. Seriously?
If the buyer hears so much as a siren, this whole thing goes up in smoke. Those are the cops.
Oh, stupid NPCs. My God, I'm usually so good with motorcycles. This is not my day today. This is not my day today. Hey Jay, do you still have the same name? This I feel so embarrassed right now. I failed 2 times in a row, and it's on me.
You're looking good, but don't push your luck. Stay away from the cops. Remember, they know the vault's been hit, but they don't know who you are or where you are. They have patrols.
I'm going straight to the bike from here.
And all the civilians have been evacuated. So if they see you, they'll know it's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer.
No one has
You should avoid the bulk of the cops this way. The only thing that matters is making it to your ride. Get to the getaway bikes. They're in position now. Hustle!
Thank you, Shade, for the super chat. Thank you, dude. And the thing about that is I'm so annoyed that I died earlier because that was such a good run. We were doing so well. We literally stealthed that on our first attempt. Okay, there better not be any more bike fails. No, NPC, don't. Oh my God, when I saw that red car turning, I knew where this was leading. Oh my God. Okay, I'm almost to the safety zone. I got it now at this point. I got it.
So much as a siren, this whole thing goes up in smoke. Lose the cops.
I got this.
Yeah, I see you.
Overshot that a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Train is gonna come. Don't jinx it. I don't think the train even drives on this heist. Did I get good grades in school? Yeah. Hey man, it's been a minute. Hope you're doing great. Just wanted to stop by and say hello. Also, would you do a GTA 6 playthrough when it comes out? Yeah, 100% gonna do it. Thank you for sponsoring my channel for 2.5 years, Greatest Within. Well, that stupid pickup truck again. I'm not gonna do the same crap again. Okay, oh man. Damn. That was, oh my god. I might make that into a short because how ridiculous that was. That situation, that was so stupid. That was just dumb. That crap. That was really just dumb. I could, Minion Dave. Did I see your super chat? My donation will bring U.S. reinforcements to aid to you. Thank you, Jolly. Angela Pickles has jinxed you. Oh, from Rugrats. Thank you, Shades, also for the super chat. No, I don't think GTA 6 is going to be disappointing. It can't be at this point, no. Did Appalachian post a comment, though? Appalachian, did you post a comment, dude? I didn't see your comment. Where? Did you make one? Oh, my super chat was about Generation Kill. Have you watched it? It's about a battalion of 1st Recon Marines, initial push into Iraq in 2003. It's a good 7-part miniseries. I've seen clips of it on YouTube, especially in shorts, but I've never watched it. But I could watch it. Yeah, I'd be interested in watching it. Did your neighbor's family ever overhear you and get worried when you talk about coke labs and counterfeit cash businesses like it's real life? No. No. My mom is very well aware of the games that I play, and my dad is just confused, but he understands it's all a game. You know, thank you, Ti. It might happen at my apartment where it might be weird because somebody might hear me in like another unit or something like that, but they probably figure I'm talking about a game anyways. Sorry about the bikes. It's not on you, Pierston. I actually prefer bikes over cars, so it's not on you. It was on me. It was just some bad luck. Okay, I think I might be wrapping up the stream here. I am kind of hungry. I haven't had anything to eat. I'm going to do another midweek stream, guys, on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I'm going to stream Crime Boss, because we're doing it for the money event. And then on Thursday, we might go back to Yakuza Kiwami and finish that up. No, I probably wouldn't have time at the moment, Vanny. I promised Josh that I would just do SOCOM right after, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, 50 Cent was pretty funny. Hey, Ray Alurod. I'll answer a few questions before I go here. If you guys want to ask me anything before I go, I'll answer your questions. If you enjoyed the stream, drop a like on it. Yeah, 50 Cent is approaching, 10,000 views right now. It's doing pretty well. It is. What's for dinner? I don't know. We have to see. Will I make more history videos? Yeah, definitely. More shorts, definitely posting them. Okay, Mark, I'll take a look at it later. I could try to, yeah, Benny. Is it on the PlayStation Classics? Is it available on PS5? So, I know there's a few PS2 classics that are available. Pro, a physical pre-order is going to ship day of release, or how does that work? Also, the midnight release on the night of the 18th into the 19th. If you order from a place like Amazon, Amazon usually delivers on day one when the game comes out. What is it? I don't even know if they do midnight releases anymore. I don't know about that. The last midnight release I was GTA 5. That was 13 years ago. More like 12 and a half years ago, but pizza deliveries are paying 4 times money for the next 2 weeks, letting you know, oh, going for another pizza delivery challenge. Oh, that'd be great, right? Thank you, Jackon. Thank you, dude. Gonna watch a 50 Cent video. See you next time. Thank you, Shades. Any tips for roguelite on Crime Boss? Try to do as much stealth as you can. My favorite side weapon to use, like gadget, is that one gun that can disable the cameras. It's like that little TV gun. That's very useful for sneaking around. I started playing Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. It was great. Make sure you play the DLC storyline. There's a DLC storyline, 3 DLC missions. The DLC storyline is a separate story away from the main game, and the DLC storyline is actually better than the main story. It's actually very good. Yes, they were, Caton. Oh, I bet it was a bit rough, though, DHC. I would still play GTA 6 even if I had an oppressor, but it would be annoying. It would ruin the game. Yeah, and I gotta play Kingdom Come Deliverance one day, because I know that Kingdom Come Deliverance has my ancestors in it, because my ancestors are actually the Cumans. So, you know, the bad guys that you actually see in Kingdom Come Deliverance, those guys are actually my ancestors, going back on my father's side. So, yeah, so I'm very interested in in playing that game, and I could talk a bit of that history too. Yeah, so I guess we'll be wrapping this up here, guys. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this stream. If you did, drop a like, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day, guys.